Sit down, Mrs. Tate.
Well, is it bad?
Yes, I'm afraid it's too far developed.
You mean I might have to lose it?
Well, there comes a point beyond which... how can I put this? Well, you should have acted sooner. You should have told me ages ago. You left it too late.
Oh, well, I've always been slow off the mark. Story of my life. So that's it then, is it? Oh, well. So be it. What a depressing room this is.
Not very attractive, no. It's functional.
Functional. Yes.
You said you promised I would see them whether you say so or not. Are you going to take me to the dungeons?
Can I be of any assistance, miss?
Mrs.
Never. Never would have believed it. I thought you was his elder sister.
Would you just take him off my hands for a few minutes, please?
Oh, you want a break? Say no more.
Just for a few minutes.
Leave it to me.
Where's your handcuffs?
Ah, now that's a secret.
Where's your truncheon?
In a safe place.
Where's the keys to the dungeons?
All locked up.
How'd you lock keys up?
We have ways and means.
I think you're stupid.
Watch it.
Show me the dungeons.
Ask nicely,
I'll kick your bloody
and
ankle.
I'll clip your bloody ear.
You're going to show me?
No, I'm not. Now, you run along back to your mum.
Oh, I'm not his mother, just his probation officer.
Right.
Are you glad you joined?
Mrs. Forbes, whoever thought up the idea of open days?
There's a man who'll have his head examined.
I'll do time behind this desk. Grillis is one of them climbing on that chair. Get him off, will you?
I think I'll escape upstairs. It's safer up there.
Jake, Mr. Russell says when you're finished doing whatever it is you're doing, you're to drop into his office, in passing like.
Well, I'll do better than that. I'll drop in person, like.
Right.
Oh, how long, oh, Lord, how long?
5 minutes, I'll be through, OK?
It's no hurry.
Get that number.
His ex-directory.
Yeah. He's also ex-Durham. Got any news?
Well, he's asked me to drop in.
Oh, good news, Touchwood.
Oh, I'm not superstitious. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
Me too.
Hey, now, look, are you going in to see him or not?
Well, as soon as I finish this.
Ah, stuff that.
Are you getting anxious?
Yeah, I feel like an expectant father.
Hey, would you believe My mouth's gone dry.
Look, get in there, will you? See him? Yeah, I'm away to the canteen till Madam's finished.
Gov.
Sit down, Jake.
Ah, it's all right.
You want a drink?
Yeah. I didn't get through.
Well, your paperwork, by all accounts. No problem there.
Yeah, but I failed the selection board.
Well, it's a board, isn't it? Therefore, board decision. Only needs one.
Negative response, and
Next time you'll dawdle it.
ain't gonna be a next time.
Now you're being negative.
Am I? You got any idea where I went wrong?
Well, word has it, and this is strictly off the record, that a certain deputy commander failed to appreciate your particular brand of humour.
Oh. Well, that's it then.
Now, I don't want you getting despondent.
Oh, I won't. Might just get legless lunchtime, though.
I might just join you.
Yes, madam, can I help you?
I've come to see Inspector Forbes.
Mrs. Forbes, CID business, was it?
That's right.
You got an appointment?
I've got a letter. It was some time ago. I couldn't get in before.
Was well out of date, huh?
I had to spend some time in hospital.
I see. Morrison, I think those two have handcuffed themselves together. Find a set of spare keys.
Right, Sarge.
Oh, Maisie, listen, this lady's here to see Mrs. Forbes. Could you take her up for me, please?
Yes, Sarge. Could you just wait here? She's on the phone. Are you all right?
I'm not feeling too good, no.
Here. Hello? Yes, sir. And that's a telex number? Uh-huh. 321819. Yes, sir, I'll get that to him. Can I get you something? Cup of tea?
Could I possibly have a glass of water, do you think?
I won't be a minute.
Now, come on. You're not the only sergeant who failed DI's board first time, if at first you don't succeed.
Give up.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Telex message. Thought it might be urgent.
No answer. Thank you, Maisie.
The passport thing sorted, so I'll await.
Here you are.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Yes.
Sorry to disturb you, ma'am, but I have a woman waiting to see you, a Mrs. Tate.
What did you want?
Well, apparently you wrote to her some time ago and invited her in to pick up some personal items.
Personal items?
You organised a raid. I imagine she's talking about property you're not using in evidence.
Tate? Good God, that was months ago.
Well, she hasn't been able to get in before.
God, what a day to choose. They're up to her ears downstairs.
Well, I would have put her off, but...
But what?
She doesn't look at all well, ma'am.
Oh, OK, Maisie, I'll see you. Show her in.
Would you like to come in now? Mrs. Tate, ma'am.
Please do sit down, Mrs. Tate. Thanks, Maisie. Well, now, Mrs. Tate, what are your husband's initials?
W.A. Wallace Arnold.
And the actual date of arrest, can you remember?
It was 5 months ago, September the 5th.
And you received my letter when?
It would have been about 10 weeks ago when I was in hospital.
Have you got the letter?
Oh!
No, yes, I'm getting somewhere. There. I wrote to you on November the 8th.
Is it important?
Well, it's open day downstairs. I'm sure you've gathered. It's a very busy day. I'm not going to be very popular if I ask somebody to open up the property store. But, well, I will if you want me to. That is, if you feel there are some items that you can't live without.
There are some things I'd rather not live without, yes.
Right. Then, let's see if the old charm still works.
Front desk, Brian. Oh, hello, man. Yeah, well, I mean, that could prove a bit tricky.
Yes, Dave, I do realise it is inconvenient, but is it possible? Nothing is impossible, you've been told. Dave, the lady's entitled. I'd be obliged. Okay, thanks. I'll remember you in my will. He's, going to get someone to open up the store.
You're all very considerate.
No, we're not heartless, Mrs. Tate.
I'm sure you're very human underneath.
We do our job as required.
You did a very good job on my husband.
He's awaiting trial.
He's on remand, yes. He's not a happy man.
You managed to get to see him?
With me in hospital and him in prison, it wasn't easy.
Mrs. Tate, I think I should point out that as investigating officer, I'm not actually allowed to talk about the case. You do understand.
I'm sorry. I've got to take some medicine. It's all right. The young lady brought me some water. It's out there.
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. Tate. I'll get it. Thank you. Well, we can always send out for some more, if we...
Don't make another sudden move like that. Don't make any moves at all without first giving me notice. Don't.
May I ask what all this is in aid of, Mrs. Tate? What are these demands?
I would like you to make one phone call and get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Bill, it's Maggie. I've got a Mrs. Jocelyn Tate in my office. I arrested her husband, Wallace Arnold Tate, 5 months ago. He's in Brixton on remand. He's awaiting trial. Mrs. Tate has lifted a set of keys and she's locked both my office doors.
What's she want?
She's given me a list of demands.
What do you mean, demands? What sort of demands?
She wants to see her husband, in person. And she wants us to drop the case.
She's serious?
She's deadly serious.
So what she got? Fresh evidence?
No.
Yeah. Bomb squad and fire brigade. Got it? Right. Now, I want every civilian off these premises, orderly fashion, no panic, tell them we got a gas leak. Jake, tell Maisie to put a call through to Maggie into her office. Keep that line open until I can get something organized. Away you go. Don't want to hear a great big lot of boots bumping about the place.
Right, go.
Right.
Answer.
Yes? Not now, I'm busy.
Are you familiar with the workings of these things?
Not intimately, no. And just what do you hope to gain by this, Mrs. Tate? I mean, at the end of the day.
Justice.
Justice?
I want to talk about you dropping the case against my husband.
If we agree.
You don't have a lot of choice.
Mrs. Tate, let's at least start on a note of mutual trust. Look, by now there are a lot of senior police officers out there. None of them would want to see any harm come to either you or me, but they will not be blackmailed.
Can anyone transcribe shorthand?
I can.
That figures. Yeah, Croft. Yeah, it's Steve for Maggie, the board.
All right, take a message. Don't let on.
Yeah. Yeah, which one?
Gov, you spoke to the ACC?
Yes, I did.
What was his reaction?
Don't rush your fences.
Look, I've got to have her husband here if that means cutting through a bundle of red tape.
Gov, it's Brixton. It looks like he's on.
Right. She could be in this. He's run out of
Oh, no.
coins.
So what do you want?
Yes?
To see Maggie in the tank lunchtime. I tried to stall him.
Thanks for the help. Right, it's on. Croft, take Phillips with you to Brixton. Take charge of remand prisoner Wallace Arnold Tate and escort him back here, right?
Yeah, okay.
I've got to know.
Now what?
If that grenade was a ploy, she's now got a piano wire around Maggie's throat. I've got to know. Jake, without chancing your arm, do you reckon you could manage to get a peep into that office from the corridor window?
I can try.
Barrett,
Gov?
if this woman Tate sees you, she might panic.
I've got the edge on her there, sir.
How?
I'll panic before she does.
Well, you've got a sense of humour anyway.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of reversal of roles?
Frequently.
Dwell on it. I'll ask the questions, you'll provide the answers. I'm going to take this so-called evidence you have against my husband and I'm going to demolish it. For once in your life, Inspector, it's you being interrogated and me doing the interrogation. Understood?
It's hardly fair. I suppose I've spent literally hundreds of hours in a witness box being cross-examined by experts. No doubt when your husband goes to trial, I'll have to go through the whole ordeal all over again.
There isn't going to be a trial.
You can't change the course of justice with a hand grenade.
To make a lot more people listen to you, though. There are channels. That sort of chance, I understand, wouldn't I? The wife of a convicted felon.
Do you know the penalty for attempting to pervert the course of justice?
Do you?
Do you have any idea of the work? The lengths we go to, the number of people, the man-hours, the effort involved in preparing a case. Every detail, every minute piece of evidence is gone over again and again before we submit a report to the Director of Public Prosecutions. Then their legal eagles start the whole process all over again. No action can be taken until the DPP are satisfied that we have a case.
You arrested my husband on a charge of conspiring to rob a supermarket.
You make it sound like a simple case of shoplifting.
Was that the charge?
It was. They were after cash, Mrs. Tate. Something like £160,000 worth.
Oh, that's up a few grand already.
Look, Mrs. Tate. I'll need your husband's file.
Well, get it.
No.
Well,
Now, they both sat facing each other about a yard apart. Maggie with her back to that door there. There's a desk hard up against the corridor entrance. Grenade in her left hand, right forefinger in the ring. And from what I could see, I'd say it was an old Mills bomb.
Rusty?
Mint condition. She's either oiled it or just taken out its protective wrapping. Now, don't take any chances, Gov. My opinion, it's the real thing.
Russell.
I need the files on Wallace Tate. All of them.
Well, that means we've got to get them to you. We're in with a chance.
Hang on a moment. How do you want the files delivered?
The young lady that showed me here, she can bring them in, and some coffee.
We want Maisie to deliver the files. Can you arrange that? Without fuss. And some coffee.
We'll do. Maggie wants Tate's file. Now, I'll dig it out and make sure we've got a copy. She wants Maisie to deliver it with some coffee.
Yeah, well, you'll want to volunteer.
Don't risk it.
Well, you'll risk her.
I understand you've got a problem.
Yeah. Female kamikaze banged up with a WDI on the first floor.
I've got a van load of gear outside. Can you spare a couple of bodies?
Yeah. Grillis, Morrison, go with these two gentlemen. Hello, Gov. I've got two from Denmark Hill down here. They're on the way up.
Governor. How do you feel?
I'll be all right, sir.
Promise?
I promise.
Gov, have you been through these?
Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
Well, 10 seconds to give us enough time.
You're assuming.
I'm assuming there's a 10-second fuse in that grenade.
You're also assuming that she knows what she's talking about in there. Now, I've been through the file. I've talked to the collator. She's not Baden Meinhof. She's a housewife with a grievance.
And a grenade.
10 seconds,
So
Jake.
she's got to open the door to let Maisie through.
And you go in?
I can do it.
No way. I'll get on the blower. Tell Maggie we're ready to deliver. Jake, do it. Anybody tell you we've got a sensitive situation up here?
Sorry, sir.
All right, Jake, just a minute. They're ready.
Easy.
On that desk. Just put it down there on that desk.
Two hostages now, Mrs. Tate.
You, to the tank. Now.
Gov.
Young Steve, comfort and joy.
Messenger boy.
Do it. Don't let me down. Now, I need to see what's going on in there, can do?
Simple, Gov.
Much of this is specious.
Come again?
Of little intrinsic value.
Anything that concerns Wally is important.
Mrs. Tate, I happen to have great faith in our judicial system. None whatsoever in drumhead courts like this. I take it you are playing judge.
I'm jury.
You think you're capable of taking the place of 12 good men and true?
Show me one. Show me one good man. One honest man. One man who says what he means and does what he says. Show me one man who really believes in fair play and doing unto others as he would be done by. You show me one, and I'll back down. I'll back down, so help me I will. Well, answer it.
Yes. Now, Governor, like a word.
Yes? What's going on out there?
Mrs. Tate, I thought you'd better know. We'll be taking a few simple precautions. Don't get alarmed, but we'll be moving some portable blast screens into place.
What about my husband? Where's he?
We have to observe the rules, Mrs. Tate. Prison authorities are not obliged to do anything.
They'd better think again.
Yeah, well, calm down. It's all being taken care of with any luck.
You're pushing yours. I haven't got time to be patient.
He'll be here within the hour. You got my word on that.
What's his name?
Russell, Detective Chief Inspector.
Oh, I am impressed. Your word had better be good, Mr. Russell, because I'm holding you to it.
No, I don't want any sudden movements. Everything cool, calm, smooth. We're treading on eggshells, understood?
Understood, Gov.
Right, move it.
You tell me she's stuck up there with an armed maniac while we're sat here calmly ordering a bloody drink?
Steady on, Mike. I came here to put Steve in a picture. Everything that can be done constructively has been done. The governor's right.
Russell, what does he care?
A hell of a lot.
Sorry, I was out of order. I better wait till Steve shows up, breaking the news.
Is it all right with you?
Sure, go ahead. I'll do the necessary. Listen, Jake. I'll give you best. Situation like this, I'm an outsider. No bullshit. How serious is it?
Says here, 4 men took part in... What? An alleged attempted robbery?
We had the supermarket surrounded.
At 1855.
We waited until 2015.
What for? Act of God?
The gang had obviously realised they were under observation.
Obviously. And then when you realised nothing was going to happen, you moved in.
1 man was seen to escape. 3 were apprehended.
You were short of 1 body.
Of the 3 men we remanded in custody that night, 2 were prepared to testify in court under oath that the 4th man was your husband.
You got 2 of them to turn Queen's evidence. What did you promise them?
Very little.
A couple of teenage toe rags, barely out of Borstal. Nothing to gain. What did they have to lose?
It was precisely that.
What?
The fact that they weren't hardened criminals that gave them credence.
And you believed them?
Yes.
You mean that?
I do.
And you're a stupid cow.
The forensic evidence.
Let me see that. Do you seriously believe that a pro would leave his dabs all over a whiskey bottle and then leave the whiskey bottle to be found? Doesn't it strike you as a bit ludicrous? Next. Overalls and a pair of surgical gloves found in Gilpin Street.
Both items were traced back to point of purchase. Both shopkeepers identified your husband from photographs as the purchaser.
Next.
A woolen balaclava found in the same car. A bottle of whiskey.
What is it you're saying, Mrs. Tate?
Yeah, just a minute ago.
I'm saying that apart from the word of 2 perjuring slags, all your evidence is purely circumstantial. I'm saying what I've said all along. My husband has been fitted up.
As far as I'm concerned, that's simply a routine counter-allegation. Who are you suggesting fitted your husband up, Mrs. Tate?
Who, Mrs. Tate? Who?
Have you got a file on Delhi Houseman?
Delhi Houseman is dead.
I know. I sent flowers. But it's his money being used to put my husband away, isn't it?
You're not trying hard enough, Wally. I asked you when you last saw her. Now, I want a date.
It's difficult, Gov.
Difficult?
Yeah, I can't remember, honest, I can't. I mean, she's not been well. I've had letters and that, but no visits. Has something happened to her, something I should know?
You wouldn't be coming the old innocent with me, now, would you?
Do me a favour.
Are you aware your wife is actively campaigning on your behalf?
Campaigning?
Now, come on, you put her up to it.
No way.
You gave her instructions.
I told you I haven't even seen her.
You told her it'd be wiser not to visit you, but you got word to her. You gave her the name of a few contacts.
No way.
You sleep well?
Like a baby.
Wally Tate is innocent, OK?
You're giving me a headache.
Your wife, is she a member of any known group?
Group? What are you talking about, a group? Like, is she a communist?
Is she?
She shops at the co-op.
Yeah, she's very wise.
Delhi Houseman had it in for my husband ever since his younger brother copped it.
That was
Nick Houseman, dead on arrival at Charing Cross Hospital after a shooting affray in Soho.
They cornered him in an amusement arcade.
Well, was your husband involved?
Deli thought so.
Suddenly he's offering him work?
My husband's not daft. He knew Deli wasn't doing him any favour. That's why he went along with it.
Well, to the extent of buying working clothes, overalls, rubber gloves?
Those articles were planted.
They were dumped in Gilpin Street by your husband.
What's happening?
It's very quiet.
We're going up.
Who's we?
You're going up, Mike. I'll wait here.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Joss?
Yes.
Are you there, Joss?
I'm here, Wal.
What's going on? What's happening?
I want to see you. I want to talk.
Talk? Talk about what?
I want to do something about your case.
I don't want you to do anything. Everything's all right as it is. Leave well alone. I don't need you monkeying about. What are you trying to do? Screw me?
I'm not giving up. Not now.
What do they do to you in that hospital? Damage your brain? Look, whatever it is you're trying to do, don't. I don't want it.
I can't go back now. Well, I'm committed.
You bloody should be. Listen, they say you got some kind of a grenade in there. Is that true?
Yes.
Where did you get it?
Well, you know, Wal, it's not what you know, it's who you know that counts, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fancy enough to fool some, but the joke's over, Jocelyn. Call it a day. Put it back in its little box and return it to the toy shop. Get your money back.
I told them you were fitted up. I've told them it was Deli Houseman's money that did it.
You what? You did what? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Bastard. You haven't changed. Not one iota. Someone had better start taking me seriously.
It wasn't dead after all.
Oh, no. It was very much alive and lethal. We defused it. It's safe enough now.
The fuse? What sort of delay?
7 seconds.
The other one she's got in there now?
My bet? Pair of a kind.
Mrs. Tate, all we've done so far is argue the toss about evidence that will be challenged anyway by defense counsel once we go to trial. If it's as flimsy as you seem to suggest, the case will be flung out of court. So what purpose are we serving?
2 purposes, Inspector. I wanted to see exactly how you were going to prosecute this totally fictitious case. And I wanted them out there to see and hear your evidence being demolished. My husband wasn't involved in any robbery. My husband was nowhere near that bleeding supermarket.
Do you have proof of that?
I do.
Is your recording?
It's all going down, Gav. Don't worry.
You intend to supply it? It's quite simple, really. My husband has been seeing another woman.
I mean, he was seeing another woman prior to this business. Oh, it's not the first time that he's run off with someone that's taken his fancy in a bar, celebrating somewhere. When they get out after a stretch, they consider themselves entitled. You any idea what I'm talking about? It's not the first time he's been unfaithful to me, I'm sure. Sure, I'm bloody certain. But there are degrees. In some respects, my husband's a very sensual man. Sensual. He's the kind of man who enjoys the company of tarty women, all up front. You know what I mean? I'm sure you do. But this time it was different. This last time, it was serious. He meant it.
Did you know this other woman?
No, not at the time, no. But he left clues, know what I mean?
You went through his pockets?
I started asking around. Had to be careful. I had this notion about confronting them, you see.
But you didn't?
No, I didn't. Chickened out when it came down to it, but...
Yes?
I was outside her house that night. It says here that on September the 3rd, you had the supermarket surrounded from 1855 till 2015, right?
That's correct, yes.
My husband went in her house at 7:30. I was outside there till midnight. Then I went home.
What's this woman's name?
Is it important?
Mrs. Tate, you wait until now to play your ace card, and you play it face down. I need to know. I need supportive evidence. What's her name?
She calls herself Elaine Decker.
Calls herself?
It's a sort of professional name.
What sort of profession?
She's a nightclub hostess.
What nightclub?
The Trellis.
Elaine Decker. Where does she live?
Down Avenue, Manor Park, number 18. It's a terraced house. She's got the top floor flat.
And you're prepared to swear that you saw your husband enter these premises at 7:30 on the night of the attempted robbery?
I am.
Now, you work with Maggie on this Tate case, don't you?
Well, on and off.
Well, this hostess, this Elaine Decker, was her name ever mentioned?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Well, it's probably a load of old toffee. We're going to have to check it out. Get yourself over to her drum. Now, if she's a night bird, she'll have to sleep during the day. You might even catch her in bed.
Well, what do you want me to do? Pull her in?
Play it by ear. Yeah, well, I can't stop you asking him for a lift. Okay with you?
Sure.
Nothing likely to happen here that you can prevent? No, go on, busy yourself. What do you reckon, Gov?
Well, I reckon if she's telling the truth, if this nightclub Tom is prepared to do a bit of swearing, the case against Tate is right up the spout.
And why is Tate so anxious to put his hand up for it? Unless... Now, do you reckon he could have been out doing something really naughty that same night?
Lesser of two evils?
It could be.
Can I go up, Sarge, for a minute?
I'm sorry, son. Listen, I'll organise another cup of tea.
Oh, stick your bloody tea.
If this becomes a siege situation, Mrs. Tate...
What?
We'll have to make provisions. What I'm saying is that nothing is going to happen overnight. Would you please consider allowing this woman police constable to go? You have my word for it that she had nothing whatsoever to do with your husband's case.
I'd rather she stayed.
How are you, Mason?
I'll be all right, ma'am.
You sure?
Fine.
It's up to them out there. As soon as I get my assurance.
You'll let us go?
It'll be over in no time, don't worry.
Don't do that, miss. We're police officers.
You scrubby bastard!
No oil painting, is she?
We take you in, Elaine. You know where you'll end up?
I don't want to know you here. I don't want to know. Don't want to know.
Don't make a lot of sense, does she?
Now, what's the stupid cow been saying?
Your loyal, loving wife has come up with fresh evidence.
She's what?
It looks as though you're in the clear, but we are checking it out now.
Are we talking about the supermarket?
Now, look,
job?
I warned you about coming innocent with me.
Yeah, well, she's talking through the back of her neck.
Is she? Well, what are you gonna do, eh, Wall, if she manages to prove you were not on the supermarket job? Sue us? Wrong for the rest?
When you lot have finished playing silly buggers, you can wheel me back to the slammer.
We'll be back there soon enough.
Ready when you are.
When we are ready, good and ready, we will take you back to Brixton, Wally.
People like you switch to self-destruct. I got no argument. It's your life. Do what you like with it. It's no concern of mine. Until one of your unsocial activities affects an innocent outsider, or worse, affects me personally. Your grotty lifestyle has impinged on mine. And I'm angry. Look at me, Elaine! I'm very angry. And I want you to know that if anything happens to a certain person, a person I care about deeply, if anything happens to her, I swear on my mother's grave I will spend the rest of my life making the rest of your life unbearable. I mean that. You understand?
Yes.
And I'll do it. Believe me, Elaine, I will do it. I don't think you begin to realize how strongly I feel. Yes?
I do.
I want you to think about your future and mine, because right now they are inextricably linked. I want you to think for a moment, then I want you to talk to this officer. Understood?
Yes. Please, can I have a glass of water?
You're very wise.
Bob, Spearman?
Yeah.
Jake's back.
With or without?
With. Turnbull leaned on her.
Lived up to expectations.
She's prepared to make a sworn statement.
Incriminating him?
Oh, we're going to have him for murder, possibly a double. The only problem is, how's she going to take it?
Well, Mrs. Tate.
Mrs. Tate.
What about Maggie?
Well, she's going to have to be told, isn't she?
Mrs. Tate, I've got a message for Inspector Forbes. If it's all right with you, I'll slip it under the door.
Is this a try-on? A message under the door? Instructions. We haven't called the SAS in, Mrs. Tate, not yet. Nothing to worry about, I assure you. It's probably a personal message.
Is it all right?
All right, sir.
Will you pick it up? Read it back there.
Where'd you find this lot?
Under the bathroom floor.
Funny man.
Well, hanging on to him.
Well, taking a bit of a risk, wasn't he?
Elaine says that was his favourite.
How is she on times and dates?
Keeps a diary.
Well kept?
Sight better than mine.
Ooh. He's going to rue the day he met Miss Decker. Let's go have a word.
Maggie been informed?
Yeah. Won't be longer.
Well, read it. Read it to me?
Mrs. Tate, it would seem. It seems that by introducing evidence that effectively proves your husband's innocence regarding the attempted robbery of the supermarket, you have in fact opened an entirely new avenue of inquiry which leads the officers out there to believe that your husband was involved in something far more serious.
Like what?
Like murder.
Delhi Houseman was shot 5 times. Head, chest, and abdomen. Death instantaneous. Time, and there are 15 residents of Piper's Court prepared to swear to this, 12 minutes past 7 on the evening of September the 3rd. That same evening as the supermarket caper. Post-mortem revealed 5 bullets, all 9mm, all fired from the same gun. Now, on that same evening, you were seen entering a premises in Dowan Avenue Manor Park, and that's what? A 15-minute taxi ride from Piper's Court. Well, all we've got to do is match those bullets to one of the guns found in Elaine Decker's flat. And you, my old China, for the high jump.
Leave it out, leave off.
Wally, why don't you give in gracefully? Motive, the means, and the opportunity. It's got you in all three counts.
No way.
You remember Little Caesar?
Little who?
Forget it. You got tired of being one of the Indians, decided it was time you were one of the chiefs, so you took a good look round and settled on Delhi Houseman's mob. Ripe for a takeover.
Ripe?
Anyone could have bought allegiance from that team. All you needed was a few luncheon vouchers and some complimentaries from a strip joint. Your only problem was family.
You mean family?
Delhi and his younger brother, Nick.
You nearly came unstuck when you did him in the arcade, though, didn't you?
Pulled you in for that one, Wally. You remember? Nice alibi. Nowhere near Soho. Goodwood, was it? That must have worried you a bit. So when it came to dealing with a big man, you looked round for some insurance.
What are you talking about, insurance?
Like fitting yourself up for a job you didn't commit. Got to give you your best, Wal. Had us fooled there for a bit.
Not like you, is it? Trusting a female?
Now leave her out of it. You just leave her out of it!
We'll do our best.
I'm entitled to remain silent.
Right.
But I've had a word with my brief.
You're going to have a word with your wife first.
Don't you believe it?
You're outnumbered, Wal.
Go on, lead him away.
Don't be bloody stupid! I'm not going out there to talk to her! Get your bloody hands off me!
This is Tate. I have to inform you that due to certain disclosures, we will be retaining custody of your husband, and that after confirmation from the Forensics Division, we'll be charging him with murder on at least one count.
You satisfied now? You satisfied, you poisonous bitch? You satisfied now? You did it, didn't you? You finally caught up with me. You finally scored my card, but I'll be out of here. And let me tell you, when I'm out, I'll mark your card. Do you hear me? You sow! I'll mark your card! The next time I see you, you brown bread! Do you hear me? You got a grenade in there? Well, pull the pin! Do you hear me? Pull the bloody pin! Don't brood about it! Do it! Go on, pull the bloody pin! Jocelyn, pull it!
You did this deliberately? You did this to us for that?
I've given him something to think about, haven't I? All those banged-up nights he's got facing him. Keep him occupied.
Do you intend to pull that pin, Mrs. Tate?
Yes.
With us here, in this room.
It's a very depressing room, isn't it?
This is a workroom. It's my workroom. It's where I work. I haven't got a photograph of my late husband or of my son or of the most important man in my life because the simple reason is I don't feel entitled to bring old memories, new memories, sentiment or spite with me when I come to work. And all my time in the force, I've tried to abide by the rules. You win some, you lose some. That's fair. That's how I've tried to play it. Fair. Like he says, when in doubt, go by the book. You look at me, Mrs. Tate, as if I'm a creature from another planet. I'm not. If you think I had this job presented to me on a plate because I'm a pretty face, you're wrong. No, I had to struggle and graft and swallow my pride and put up with the snide remarks and the digs. And I got here in this depressing room on merit. And I'm damned if I'm just going to sit here and let you blow it all away. I'm damned if I will. Now, you may have nothing left to live for, but my God, I have.
Brave words. Well, take them with you.
Mrs. Forbes! Mrs. Forbes! Please, please let this young woman go. Oh, my God, I've been around. I've been in contact with a lot of people, some strange, some strangers still, but all the people I've met, the strangest way, you've got to be the most heartless.
Is that your opinion?
It's my considered opinion, yes.
Well, now, you may be wrong.
I trust to God I am, Mrs. Tate.
Take cover!
It's okay, it's okay.